You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Today, our mission is a second... You sound so tired.
I am very tired. On top of the work week that I've had, I had to watch the Xindi twice.
Hello, we are Enterprise-splaining, the podcast where we explain Star Trek Enterprise to each other and to you. I'm Maria, and these are my co-hosts Jamie.
Hello.
And Bill.
Hi.
Today our mission is a second contact. Last week I told Jamie and Bill what happened in the Star Trek Enterprise episode, The Xindi. They have now watched the episode and are back with their thoughts. So, make sure you listen to last week's episode before you listen to this one. But before we get started, just a reminder, we have merch. If you go to the TeePublic store on the ESO website, or just click the link in our show notes, you can buy lovely Enterprise-splaining t-shirts and the adorable Porthos Appreciation Society shirts. So, last week, the Enterprise went into the Expanse to find a Xindi on a mining planet. They were immediately captured and... tried to escape with the Xindi, but were almost immediately recaptured. But not before they waded through some sewage, climbed up a duct, and nearly got their butts fried by plasma. The new military dudes who are now on the Enterprise rescued them, and even Malcolm agreed that they are oddly competent for being on this ship. The Xindi died, but not before giving them the coordinates of his homeworld. Unfortunately, when they got there, they found out that the Xindi planet had been blown up a couple of 100 years ago. So they got no answers and a whole lot more questions. So, of course, they decided to go deeper into the Expanse, whatever that means. Oh, and also we learned that the Xindi are actually made up of 5 different species, including giant grasshoppers and manatees with hands and a Bigfoot.
I'm so glad you just gave that because this little recap you did, I realized I didn't actually write things down at all about anything regarding the plot. All of my notes are about things people are wearing, weird stuff people did. I don't have one note about sewage. Oh no, I do have a note that says, why are the sewers so well lit? They didn't have flashlights. So I guess I had one sewer note, but for the most part, I truly just didn't write anything down. I have a lot of notes and none of them have anything to do with plot.
Well, let's start with something I know you have notes on. What did you guys think about the updated theme song?
Take it away, Jamie.
Also, new show name.
Oh, that's
Show
right.
has new name.
I missed that. That it's now Star Trek Enterprise.
Oh, we are officially
I
now Star
went
Trek
back and confirmed it, and then I went back to a season 2 episode to check, and yeah, in the beginning it just says Enterprise in season 2, and now it says Star Trek Enterprise. So they changed the whole name of the show because that was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
No one realized it was a Star Trek
show.
show. If people just knew it was a Star Trek show, maybe they would have watched it.
You know, you hate to use the phrase stinks of desperation, but...
But apparently it worked because theoretically things get better.
Well, apparently it didn't really work in terms of the real purpose, which isn't to make the plot better, because that has nothing to do with it, right? The real purpose is to get people watching, which clearly they didn't because it got canceled.
Yeah, but they lasted 2 seasons. My guess is
shows don't make it 4
they
seasons.
had not made right.
We'll get into that. Let's talk about the song.
Theme
So,
song.
Jamie,
Let's focus.
I'm actually curious to hear Jamie's analysis of the new.
I mean, it was
version
awful. It was
It still
so bad.
sucks,
They somehow made it worse.
It was worse. Yeah, it was so much worse. Especially the end.
Think it
the
was
worst
worse.
part. The very end of you never even heard the other
That's
theme
fair.
song, Maria. You heard it one time. You always skip it.
Times.
Especially the very end, the way it ends like a theme song for a sitcom in 1987.
Yeah, and they didn't really. It seemed like they just added more instrumentation
That's
to the
what they
song.
did. They added a little a boogie chicka boogie chicka boogie chicka in the background. That's all.
I mean,
And it's a
real
well-known
bad.
fact that adding in the background of any song makes it better.
It's not like they added more orchestra to make it sound like more like
Yeah.
a magnificent theme, or took out the audio and just like
No, they didn't want to do any of that.
they made it
just-
more music-y,
Yeah.
Well,
more like you're in a shopping center and it's like, oh, I know this song. Oh no, this is a song I used to listen to. Except we never
I
listened.
was
to this
never a fan of the song, but like the old production was not bad. The production on it was fine. The new production is awful.
song. Yeah,
Just absolutely terrible.
I'm assuming that after this is all done, we can crack open Jamie's book about the history of Star Trek and like find out. But I
What
am
the fuck?
absolutely fascinated about this new instrumentation.
It's also 3 seconds shorter, so positive.
I thought it was
in
shorter.
direction.
Yeah, I figured it was shorter. Thank you for figuring that out.
I went to YouTube and like found the different versions and checked. And I checked like, so basically like when they say certain words, it still has the exact same image when they get to that word.
Mm.
So I think that the imagery is slightly sped
Oh,
up. Because there was a point where I was like looking, and when they got to a certain point in one of the songs, in the new one, they got there 1 second faster than in the old one. So it seems like the imagery is just very slightly sped up. So this does mean that over the 2 seasons, if for people who like actually don't skip the theme song, you save 2.5 minutes of listening to the theme song. It's basically saving the equivalent of 2 full listens of the song.
Let's pour one out to the poor video editor who had to endure 2 weeks worth of meetings with Rick Berman, who's like, no, it's got to line up here, and this is where the emotional. Okay, fine, let me re-render this.
The other thing that is really weird about it is it feels like jauntier and more upbeat.
Yeah.
And the reason I find that really weird is because I guess I know we're only 1 episode in so far, but it doesn't feel like the show
The
is
tone is supposed to be
going
darker.
in an upbeat
direction.
We got the- oh, go- God, I would love to hear the fucking postmodern jukebox people, like the guy just sitting at his piano, do a ragtime version.
It feels so out of line with the tone of the show.
Yes.
And unless they somehow change the show to go in a different direction, like I have heard that it gets darker, and it's
Right.
clearly already gotten darker.
Right.
So this theme song is going in the opposite direction, which then just makes it feel out of step with the show.
Yeah, it's
Anyways,
very bizarre.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay.
My first question is, why does this show think that climbing is interesting?
I really think it's so interesting.
And I have to imagine that either Rick Berman or Rick Berman's son, like a climbing gym opened recently in their neighborhood.
I also just don't believe they were actually climbing like that, because they were it was like these little cracks where it was just like the tips of their
Yep,
fingers,
they were-
which is very hard. And I know
no.
that like real climbers can do that,
Mhm.
but these are not real climbers.
clearly
They don't
the-
have Travis
They
there.
were Batmaning it, where they were.
They were climbing like denobulans. they were just.
But there's so much and this gets into a larger tonal issue I'll have with this. But it's just like this show thinks that long segments of climbing are dramatically
Cool.
interesting,
Yeah,
and they're not.
they're not.
Do you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Galaxy Quest, where they have to go through the ship's engines or whatever it is, and like they have to
The things
jump at
coming
specific.
down.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
is this here?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a few things that I want to get your thoughts on.
Okay.
The military boys.
Oh yeah, Team
Uh-huh,
Starfleet. Who? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
The first time we saw Daniel Day Kim, I gasped because he was so hot. Like, I'm sorry, poor Trip is no longer the hottest man on the ship.
No.
I know that when Rebecca Watson was on and she said that we're basically like, Trip just seems like the hottest and most charismatic. He seems super hot and charismatic just because no one on the show. Well, I think there's I think it's mostly hot women on the show.
Listen, Scott
But-
Bakula's hot as hell. The problem is he's an asshole on the show.
Right.
But I feel like that's kind of true because, like, seeing Daniel Day Kim, I was like, whoa, okay. Like, Trip has nothing on him.
Yeah, he's definitely an Enterprise 12 and Trip's an Enterprise 8.
As soon as I said his name was Corporal Chong, Eric immediately pointed out to me that this means there are now 2 Korean actors on this show, neither of whom are playing Koreans.
Great. Yep, fair.
Well, you know, it's like Patrick Stewart, the most British man ever, was playing a French patriot
Fair.
who nevertheless was super into Shakespeare.
It's
Yeah, at least it like
It's very,
I could believe
it's very Sean
global.
Connery and Highlander.
Daniel Day Kim doesn't even look. He doesn't look Chinese, but whatever. Like whatever.
Okay, so beyond the obvious, like, okay, it's post 9/11 military, yeah, let's go in and shoot people. What I found interesting was, once again, in this show, they give the most elaborate physical combat setup to the woman. Because we saw, like, T'Pol,
very surprising.
when T'Pol took down the Klingon, like, she was doing stunt kicks and stuff. And then in this show, the female Marine, do we know what they
Marine.
Yeah, are they called Marines?
are? I might just be
they're-
inventing that in my head, but they're...
I just wrote military people
Yeah.
down, but when I talk
I
about them, like
think-
when me and Eric talk about them, we kept saying
I
Marine,
think
but
they call them Marines.
I don't remember,
Okay.
but Space Marines is definitely a trope. But, like, she gets the sword, she gets the hand-to-hand combat stuff, and I just found that very interesting that
Yeah.
like, the most interesting
Yeah.
combat in this, again, is given to
a lot of
female
the
character.
physical combat was pretty good. It was better than what I'd seen on like TNG. Any kind of combat was like so badly choreographed. This was a lot better. It wasn't like the greatest I've ever seen, but it was not terrible. I wasn't laughing at it.
I'm the worst person to, like, I don't pay attention to combat at all.
Well-
I have combat blindness. Like, whatever they're fighting, I don't care.
Well, most of it was just running around the dark shooting at each other, but hers
Right.
had flourish.
Yeah.
It had choreography for, I guess that's...
I should say, with the exception of Philippa Georgiou. 'Cause she, like,
yeah, well, I
anytime
was talking
you
about
see
like
her-
old.
The
old
devil,
Star
you
Trek.
say! Michelle
Yeah.
Yeoh was
Michelle
physically
Yeoh,
interested
you
in
can't
combat?
not see her combat.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
I know, it's shocking, right?
And their military uniforms, they were like
They
space
were
camouflage.
Space
They
camouflage,
were
right?
they were black,
With
and then it looked like they had
gray
like
and
white
silver.
white paint splatters on it.
Also, did you guys figure out where they rappelled down from in the
Oh, I didn't
cave?
even notice that. Oh, God, you pointed it out, and I can't believe I didn't notice
They just
Yeah,
showed
and
up.
when they rappelled down, I was like, okay, but it was also like a weird, like I was like, maybe there was like some upper level or something. I don't know. It was weird that they came from above because it is again a cave. Like it's not like if it were outside, I'd be like there was a helicopter or something, you know. But like inside the cave, I'm not like quite sure how they managed that, but whatever.
The thing I am sort of liking about the military interaction is they are not doing the trope of the military guy immediately wants to go and fight everybody,
Yeah.
and the regular crew is like, you don't know what you're like. They're not coming in and trying to take over. They're actually all being very polite to each other.
Yeah, that's the weird part.
In spite of the fact that like Malcolm clearly has issues with him, and there are these sort of underlying
Yes.
tensions that makes sense to me. But I really was happy to see that they weren't giving that. But I guess it's also, if you think about it in the time, it's also a time where like the military was a big deal, and they were trying to.
That's such a.
They
good
were
point.
trying not
no,
to
it
make
was-
it seem like they're warmongers, right?
That's-
And I liked the characters seemed cool. I wish we'd seen more of Daniel.
Yeah, that is the weird fucking part, is that the military is competent. It's like, well, maybe we should do this. This seems like a sensible idea. We're really getting the adults in the room feeling
Yeah,
from the
for real.
Space Marines.
Also, didn't it feel like Malcolm was surprisingly competent and reasonable in this? I was kind of weirded out by that.
You could definitely feel that, like at the beginning, that he was concerned about them. He felt, and it makes sense, but like it was in a way that it didn't feel annoying to me the way a lot of stuff can,
Right.
because it's so understandable. Like he's in charge of security, and now there's these other guys that are presumably also in charge of security. It makes sense that he would be really sensitive to that.
Yeah, but
And especially in the beginning that he might be pushing back on it. But it showed like a lot of growth is not the right word. A lot of maturity. It showed a lot of maturity that he was able to kind of get over that and recognize, like, this is a me problem. It's not a them problem. The things I'm mad about are not about the mission or how good they are at their jobs. What I'm mad about is a personal thing that I need to put aside.
Yeah, it was sort of logical concern without dick waving. I think that was the big, because to me, I was just waiting for the dick measuring contest, right? I was sure that was going to come down, and it didn't. I was really surprised.
I like that the Xindi are multiple races or divergent races. I'm not sure how how they're going to square this circle here, but it's not like
multiple species. Yeah, I
the
don't exactly
Xindi,
know how
the
that
Klingons,
works.
but it's like, and I'm curious to see how they resolve this issue of, because clearly, like, a full-on mantis person and a manatee, like, that's a lot of genetic diversity there. If they're going to try to imply that
You
these
would
are
think.
all one race, but
Yeah.
if these all came from the same planet or system or something, but these are all just That's an interesting idea.
They call them different species, which
But you can have like different species of
Right.
frogs, right? Like they're all
Yeah, that's
frogs,
fair.
but they're different
Right,
species
but
of
no, I like
frogs.
this idea. I'm just
Except
saying
that
I
all
like
frogs
this
are kind
idea.
of frog-like.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about like dogs, definitely
Yeah.
there's really big I mean,
Yeah,
those
yeah,
are
but
just
they're
dog
all- but they're
breeds, and
all-
there's
They're all
huge
dogs.
physical difference. But
And-
they're all clearly dogs.
But
So
I like
I don't
that
know.
it's sort of the Federation, the Xindi. I like that. I
Yeah,
thought
and my guess is, Bill, they're never going to explain that.
Well,
like they're
maybe.
never going to come. We're never going to get an answer to that. Like,
I
how
mean,
does
it
that
could just
exactly
be
work
that-
genetically?
They had like they could all be from the same home world and just like multiple intelligence,
That
different
is what-
types
Yeah.
of different intelligent
But-
species
Like-
evolved, and now they just call themselves the Xindi.
That's what I thought too, until Flock says that the
Right.
reptile Xindi and the whatever
Humanoid.
humanoid
More
skinny
humanish.
skin
non-scaly.
non-scaly share almost all the same DNA.
Right.
I mean, we share almost all the same DNA with gorillas.
Right.
They talk about
But
that.
we don't share all the same DNA with fish.
Right.
So
I like this
Yeah,
idea.
that
but if it was
weird
like
to
a
me.
fish man, right? Like if it
So-
was like a gorilla went into the somehow like
Maybe.
a whale, we're probably a lot closer to a whale because they're also mammals.
Yeah,
stepping
maybe.
back, this gets into the larger issue of they don't know anything about the Xindi, which is this gets into this weird issue of what we as the audience know versus what the crew
Right.
of the Enterprise knows. Which is an interesting idea because we see these divergent species.
Oh yeah, I guess I forgot that they didn't actually. They know that there's now. They only know now that there's two.
No, they know there's 5 because the guy told them.
Oh,
Right.
The guy told them.
But I'm just
Okay.
saying that's sort of an interesting idea. Like, what do we know about these people? What do we not know? That's kind of an
Right.
interesting.
They don't know what the other 3 species look like.
Exactly. Yeah.
the Xindi were some of the coolest looking Trek aliens
Oh yeah.
I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The bug Xindi was so
So-
cool, and the little clicks. It was just really cool looking, and I do feel like. Aside from, I do feel like we get stuff like that on lower decks, which they can do because it's animated.
They have the
I-
whales that are their
The
navigators.
cetacean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cetacean
and they
ops.
have just like weird. They have like real weird looking.
Right.
They
Yeah.
they can periodically have really weird looking aliens on there.
Right.
It's really fun to see a live action Star Trek show do like some real weird looking aliens
Yeah.
like that.
I agree. I love that.
I like that they didn't agree. Like the bug species was clear. Like, we need to wipe this out. This is an invasion force, and the other people were like, "Well, we don't know what's going on here."
Yeah, and
We're
how
doing
many
it."
people are on board, and they're
Right.
like,
Yeah.
they're just very. Yeah, I like that a lot.
That's a cool idea.
Can we please discuss T'Pol's clothes?
Oh boy,
I have so many
Immediately.
notes.
So
I have
many notes. So
There are
before-
so many things
All
to
right.
talk
Before,
about.
Bill, you can go
before you
first.
guys get into the particulars of this, so T'Pol's outfit, the implication of this is she chooses to dress this way.
Correct.
Because it is not her, this is not her
This is
uniform.
her-
She likes wearing skin-tight things in various colors.
Good for her.
What I'm most confused about is the other outfit being a uniform.
That's fair.
Like, that's confusing. We've never seen anybody else wear it.
Mhm.
No one else ever wears
Well-
that skin tight thing. So was that a uniform? Because
Oh, I
that,
always assumed
that is
so.
more weird to me than
Yeah,
Well, we
I-
never
than
saw
her choosing
any
to wear
other.
the-
Did
these
we?
things now.
No, we did see other duty Vulcans because they would talk to commanders of ships, I guess. But we never
yeah,
saw.
we saw.
Yeah,
she
but
would,
they're
like, talk
always
to
in
people.
robes. Like they're always in
Yeah, they're all the other people.
But
are
I
in
mean, they would talk to
robes.
other captains of
That's what I'm saying.
ships that would come in. But
Yeah.
okay.
Also always in robes, as far as I can remember. I don't remember any
Yeah, so-
Yeah,
Vulcan
they're
in
all in
a
robes.
catsuit other than T'Pol.
Maybe that's why they did. You spent far too much time with these humans. You need stuff where put on something loose fitting. For God's sake, T'Pol.
Yeah, I am excited to see if they just have those two are her standard, or if they're gonna put her in different clothes every time. I'm excited for that.
If T'Pol just shows up in a sweater with sweatpants, and she's
Yeah, I want
a bag of
casual
potato
T'Pol.
chips.
The problem is casual T'Pol is that 3 sizes too small satin pajamas.
satin
that
pajamas,
she
yeah.
wears. I like that, and I like the blue too. Yeah.
I didn't like the velvet.
Oh,
I don't
I
don't
thought the little
the look of it was fine, but I just
stripes on
didn't
the
like the
side.
texture. I didn't like the velvet texture. It just, to me, I don't know, velvet looks kind of cheap in a costume.
Mhm.
I don't know, but I really liked the blue. The blue looked so good. It was almost like luminescent because it had a shine to
And
it.
the silver accents really were really pretty. Yeah.
It looked so good. The blue looked real good.
Did either of you notice her haircut has gotten less severe?
Yep.
It's
Yep,
more
I noticed that.
Yeah.
too.
rounded.
So
her-
I wrote down new wig. At first I couldn't quite place how it was different, but then I compared old pictures and it's basically the bangs are a slightly different shape.
Yep.
They're more rounded.
Yeah, I would describe the back of it as
And
more
longer.
rounded too. It's less. Well, it was never a mullet, but it was definitely more hard edges when she was first. in
Yeah,
season.
I like this wig better. I think
Yeah.
her hair looks better. The only thing I felt didn't look good was her makeup, only when she was wearing the pink. When she was in the pink outfit, her makeup was quite severe.
Yeah, it was strange. I agree. I remember thinking, I noticed her makeup, which I don't normally do. I was like, oh, something's different about her makeup, and that's.
It was her blush was really dark.
Mhm.
I actually because I was I wonder if they got a new makeup person, and I don't think they did, but I couldn't believe it when I looked up the Enterprise makeup guy. Last name was Westmore, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Hollywood. It's a Hollywood history, the Westmore family.
Oh, okay. Nope.
I got
nothing
blank
about that.
blank looks.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I got to do a future Mammary Alpha on
Please
it.
do.
But they're a very famous Hollywood makeup family, going back to early to early 20th century to silent films.
Right.
Her PJs looked good, in terms of both being
Oh.
comfortable sleepwear and and if and we know where this is going with her and Trip.
She looked good. I'm not disputing that she.
Well, no, I'm not
Yeah.
saying it looked good.
Fucking
I'm
great.
saying that the
I think-
clothing looked like
But
sleepwear. It was, I
It
like.
did look like sleepwear.
it looked like sleepwear, but but that top
The
was
way she had only the one button,
because that was all that was the only way she could get it. That was the forest she could button. That thing was so small.
I mean, she looked hot as fuck in the blue uniform. I just think she looked so good.
Yeah,
in
I
that
hope
blue
they keep
uniform.
that. Yeah, I agree. And this is a good segue into the Trip and T'Pol scene.
Mhm.
How did we feel about that storyline?
It's fine. I mean, we've always had this tension between these two characters, and if this is the first step into it, I felt that it was fine.
Yeah.
No, I hated it. So and the thing is that I like the two of them together, and this ruined all the things I like about it.
Right.
Trip looked so uncomfortable that we're no longer getting the fun friendly back and forth between them. He looked so uncomfortable. I don't think I was Maria, you said he was fine. Yeah, he was fine in that he didn't do anything bad. He wasn't being creepy.
Right.
But
I don't think. I
like
think
T'Pol seemed not fine.
But
Like
that's the. I
he
mean,
looked so uncomfortable, especially when she made those sex noises.
that. Yeah, at that point, yes, I agree. When she made
But
the
even
sex
before
noises, he
that,
was
'cause
uncomfortable.
he
but
kept
the
being
whole,
like-
he didn't.
He
like,
kept acting like he was being pushed into this, and he really didn't want to do it.
right.
And it was making him uncomfortable, and he was being cool about it, but he clearly
Yeah.
felt uncomfortable. And I just feel like there's a way, even though this is like a thing, like there's a way to do this where it's like you explain, like she's like, hey, so here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to take my top off. Are you okay with that? Or so, like you warn people first. Just there's like a way to do this that it wouldn't have made
Okay,
him
now you need to take your
so
pants off,
uncomfortable.
and here's how this works.
I think that the problem is that they do not know how to write sexy at
No.
all. But I also think the fundamental issue was Chip, as an actor, I think had the problem of he had to be uncomfortable about about getting that help
Right.
and having
Yeah,
her
it
help
made sense
him.
for the character.
And
I just don't think they should have done any of this.
but that's what I'm saying. Like that was the fundamental problem, was he had to balance those two things of like, on the one hand, this is something that I really
Trip-
don't want to do.
Everything Trip did was fine. The problem was T'Pol did not handle
Right.
it well. Like, I think they could have done the same scene, and if it had been a little more T'Pol kind of slowly be like, hey, is this okay? Hey, it would work better if I take my
Right.
shirt off. Is that
Right.
okay with you? And he'd be like, okay. They could have done the same
Yeah,
scene.
it wasn't.
And it wouldn't have felt so
If-
uncomfortable. It
it
would have felt
was so
sexy instead of uncomfortable.
If the point of this scene is that Trip finds comfort from his trauma over losing his sister in a physical relationship, you could. That's a trope. That's a thing you could
Sure.
do, but it was not executed. Well.
Not at all. No.
No.
Okay, I didn't even consider that they were trying to do that, because
Oh,
that certainly did not come
100%.
through.
That's what Trip needs.
Yeah,
Trip
that does
needs
make
drugs
sense.
because he's having nightmares about his sister being killed.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
definitely did not fix that.
Right.
I even
Well,
would have
maybe
been
it
fine
did. We don't know, because they cut away as he started getting his neuropressure or whatever it was.
No.
Like if they had done it, like they'd started doing it, and then T'Pol noticed he was so uncomfortable, and they stopped. And
Right.
what if then they just talked and had the two of and she
That would
was
be
like,
great.
hey,
It's sort of
what are you dreaming about? Like what? And then they had an actual like moment of connection.
Yeah.
And
That would have been way
so
sexier.
much sexier. I think that would have made so much sense with the way that they have built these two characters' relationship. They're friends. We know they're friends. Like they joke with each other, and
And they're
like
friends
hanging
in a
out
way that they
together.
are kind of flirty
Right.
together. That is kind of sexy. Like I would say the Frankenstein scenes from that
Right.
earlier episode were sexier than this.
Men will literally fuck to Paul rather than go into therapy.
I just think that they're just executing on this poorly, obviously.
Yeah.
But I wish they had that moment of because that is the one thing, as you say, that is the one thing that Trip actually needs. He needs to talk about this. He needs to work
Yeah.
through the
And-
trauma.
Well, this is my question.
It would be sexy for their relationship if they
Exactly.
like had a real connection.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maria, you mentioned before the thing about how apparently the last 2 seasons they were trying to set up a relationship with Archer and T'Pol. And this felt like an Archer, one of those annoying, weird, uncomfortable Archer T'Pol
moments.
scenes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what this felt like. And it's almost like they think that this stuff is like sexy and how you get a romance going. So they kept trying it with Archer and T'Pol, and it wasn't working because nobody watching it thinks that's sexy. And then everyone was like, wait, this like banter between Trip and T'Pol kind of sexy.
Mhm.
So they're like, okay, well, let's change course. But now they're just using the old playbook
Right.
Yeah.
with this other relationship where it doesn't even make sense to their relationship. I like feel like they know each other better than this. I hated everything about it.
How great would it be if T'Pol was like, I have a have a massage technique, a pressure technique that will help you sleep, and she just nerve pinches him and puts him out. And he has to go to her every night to get Vulcan nerve pinched.
That cannot be healthy.
Well, you know.
There are no consequences for a Vulcan nerve pinch. We have learned that. That shit, they just do it all the time.
Your whole arm just
Zero
locks up, and you can't see
consequences.
this is a podcast. You can't walk around. Have your one shoulder up by your ear.
I just want Berman and Braga to read one romance. Like, give them heated rivalry and show
Go
them
20
what
years into the
sexy looks
past
like.
Hand them heated rivalry. This is our temporal Cold War. As soon as time travel is invented, we're going back. We're gonna make this a better show.
We're gonna invent time travel to make Berman and Braga watch heated rivalry. so that they understand what romances are supposed to look like.
The main plot is so boring. The miner is so boring. His idea is he's going to enslave the entire Enterprise crew to be miners. I don't care about that. That's not going to happen. It's like, and they're going to be my mining slave. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here, man. You just reach over and just grab his breathing apparatus. And your problem is fucking push that guy over.
Also, that guy is completely shit at lying. Where he's like, "Can I talk to Captain?" No, he's 37 levels below. Well, we can talk to him a second ago. There's a problem.
Did you guys see when he was talking to them on the comm? He pulled down this thing that looked like a giant podcast mic. I was like, does he have a podcast?
Come on, that guy definitely has a podcast.
All right, as long as we're dunking on this guy, I just have to bring this up. He says he enjoys platinum in its liquid form. Does the show think that we are that stupid that we don't know, or do the writers or do Berman and Braga not know that liquid latinum is not liquid platinum? Were they not paying attention?
That is possible. Like, it was weird. It was one of those what was that line in Burke and Bow, or that thing where they were like, you should learn to objectify culture.
Yes, exactly.
It's just like they don't understand the word.
So you want us to melt some platinum
so
for
I did
you?
some research about platinum.
Platinum or latinum? Because clearly that was the misunderstanding here.
Platinum.
Okay.
And because I just wanted to look up its melting point, which is super high. It's 3,200 Fahrenheit.
Okay.
So, but apparently it is such an incredibly high melting point, so much higher than almost every other substance, that is what they use to get impurities out of platinum to like make pure platinum. Is they heat it up, and all the other substances that are in the platinum melt and like come out of it, but the platinum stays solid.
Okay.
Wow.
Because it just like platinum famously extremely high melting point,
Right.
which
So
just again makes it so weird.
And then they have that container of it. Like,
Yeah.
how did they keep it not liquid?
Just get it solid and melt it yourself if that's so important to you.
Right.
I have a note here. I don't know if either of you will understand this, but I wrote this down and I really love it. I have to assume it's during the combat scene. Bravely ran Sir Archer ran away.
Well, he also ran away from the warships that were coming.
Yes.
He was like,
no, that was it. Yes, that was it. That might have been it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Bye.
Bye. Absolutely.
Okay, so this Xindi miner told them that he was a slave, right?
Yes.
And they know this is true because this is so very clearly a slave mining colony.
Yes.
And yet, like, there was a point where Trip was like grabbing him, like manhandling him and like yelling at him to tell. And I'm like, dude, like this man did not attack Earth. This man who is literally a slave in a mine has no fucking idea what's going on with Earth. He has never heard of it. He was not involved in that attack. It just really just seemed so awful to just be treating him that way, even though he he's just the same species.
I mean,
Well,
I agree it's awful.
Trip got the bloodlust.
Right. I agree it's awful, but I didn't think it was surprising. Like, what they are saying, they are basically saying, I mean, Trip is off his fucking mind. He's not sleeping. He's he's so upset about his sister. He has no outlet for that because he's not letting anybody help him. And so, of course, he's got unresolved rage. And here is the exact thing that he is like all of his anger he was able to put into the face of the species that killed his sister.
Right.
But no one tried to like talk to him about. Nobody was like, "Hey, Trip, dude, calm down. Like this guy is not." Even Archer was acting like such an asshole to this dude who again is a slave. Like this man is a victim. And he was being like kind of difficult, but you can understand why every way he was acting was completely understandable, and they were treating him like shit.
Because this show has not built up this cachet, I am not capable of telling if this is a commentary on the war on terror. Like if this was DS9,
right,
and these characters were like being like if they found a Jem'Hadar or whatever the soldiers were, or a Dominion guy, and they were treating him like shit. It's like, oh, this is a commentary on how we treated them. But this show is not self-aware enough for me to believe that. To believe that they know what they're doing.
I think this was just a reflection of the time. I think it was a reflection of what was going on.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say if it's commentary or if it's just...
I don't think it's commentary on it. I think this is the way that they feel about...
I mean, yes.
Muslims, basically.
Yes.
I genuinely think that is what, like, they're basically Islamophobic, and then they're putting that into this character and into these characters. And don't have enough self-realization to like realize that's what they're doing.
The only thing that gives me pause, I 90% think you're right. The only thing that gives me pause is what they're doing with Trip, because they're clearly showing Trip as very angry, as not like they're clearly showing him in distress that is causing him to act a way that is not normal for him. And that is the only thing that makes me think that they're at least going to address this,
trying to process this
in some way. Yeah.
So I totally believe that they are definitely purposefully trying to make Trip seem like in distress and acting angrier than usual. I don't think they realize the like racist elements of the way that they're making him act.
Nobody
comments on it.
You're right.
It's just
that I agree with.
I think they're just trying to make him look angry, but I think that because Archer also is acting this way, and I think that the show is kind of being like Archer's right to be feeling this way.
This is what gives me hope that the Xindi are not one people that have attacked Earth. This is...
Yeah, but then they're going to be like, oh, well, it was the reptilian Xindi, so now we hate all reptilian Xindi.
Yeah.
Well...
I don't trust the show to handle this well. I mean, I would love to be wrong.
So I have two notes about this.
Oh, I don't trust them to handle it well. I'm just saying that it's possible that there is some intention, even if they don't handle it right.
I do believe there's some intention. I don't think the intention is capturing all of what they're actually doing.
Right.
And specifically, like this guy being a slave, in the past, Archer gets very high and mighty whenever he sees somebody being taken advantage of like that. And in this case, he did not give a fuck. No. He did not even. He was like, oh, you're a slave, almost like he didn't believe it. But then it was clear. And then not long after, it was very much proven when he himself was taken as a slave. And then he suddenly cared about it. But still only when it came to himself. The only reason he even offered to save this guy was to get information out of him. He clearly did not care about him or his well-being or the situation he was in. There was no mention
of the other hundreds of slaves.
Exactly. When they left, they took the Xindi with them. They didn't even try to help the other slaves that were left. They just left them there. Who knows? They could be, if they were killing a lot of people. If they like killed all the people that run this mine, these slaves are like in their cells and just going to like starve to death.
Also,
there was no thought about what happened to any of these people. Nope. And it made me so angry because usually that's like the one thing Archer's good about. And it just annoyed me.
Except for Canamar. where he did exactly that. He got himself out and see ya.
They
Like,
did in
didn't
Canamar.
kill
They
them,
did
though.
save everybody
kill
from
them,
dying in a fiery
Correct.
explosion.
He
And then
saved
he
them
gave them
to
the-
send them to prison.
Oh, that is right. I forgot he sent them back to
Yes,
But
he
they didn't
saved
just
them to
leave them.
on their own. Like,
So
off you go.
baby steps.
He
In
was
fairness,
like, well, they're prisoners.
in
They're
fairness,
like, they did something bad, even though
some of
he
those
was
guys
there.
were guilty as fuck.
Sure,
Yeah,
but not all.
100%.
Also,
We have
Zumas should
That
not
guy
be
does-
released back
fuck-
into
for
the general
fucking- no,
population.
he does not need to be in the world for sure. It's a great call. Do you understand what the Xindi guy motivations were? Like, what the fuck was going on with him?
Okay, so are you talking about him giving them the
Giving them the coordinates. And the like.
This angered me. So this is more fucking mystery box because he gives them the coordinates to the Xindi homeworld. It's destroyed. It was destroyed 120 years ago. But the Xindi were, what we know from the Suliban was that Earth destroyed it 400. This is more mystery box shit. Of like, well, we don't know what's going on, which is very 9/11. It's like, okay, what is going on? Who are we fighting? Da, 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 da. But the problem is they're muddying the timeline more.
Yeah.
And I have no confidence that they're going to land this plane because
no.
the Borg, the Kardashians, the shapeshifters, all of these
The Kardashians.
the Cardassians. That fucking H always gets me every single fucking time.
I love it.
Every single other storyline we know, even if there's a little mystery at the beginning, the Romulans, we know what they want. We know what the conflict is. How they're going to solve it is the mystery. And this is, we don't know what's going on here. And this show has never proven that they can solve this problem.
We'll see.
I want to talk about the first Enterprise scene right after the theme song in that weird room.
In the war
command room.
I'm just calling it the war
command room.
Or assuming it's the war room.
Yeah, he called it the command room. I actually wrote down all the dialogue. I copied all the dialogue down because it was Archer was being such a fucking asshole to Malcolm.
Such an asshole.
Who was being completely reasonable.
There
And doing it in this awkward way where he was like putting exposition in.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no,
there should be people in that room. They have built
You make a good point, sir.
They have built a CIA Black Ops intelligence room to analyze all the information that they have. There should be dedicated people in that room, not just these three assholes who have other jobs on the ship.
Yeah, actually, I didn't think about the fact that it seems like the only extra people they brought on the ship were military.
Yeah.
But military, it seems like the show seems to think that the like military guys, all they're going to do is go out and
Boots
fight
on the ground.
stuff. But like so I worked on a military base.
Yep.
I worked for Army, and I can tell you upstairs in the building I worked in, there was a room where I was only allowed once a year when we did the Christmas potluck. And to get into the room, to get the potluck things that the intelligence people work up there, I had to hand over my phone at a desk, and they had to make sure, like, because you weren't allowed to bring your cell phone into there. And it was like and everything was like blocked off.
Yeah.
They have all these intelligence people. You would definitely think that's such a good point, Bill, because like you would think that some of the military people they send are these intelligence people.
Right. You would hope so, because there's no intelligence on the ship otherwise. I mean, you need something.
Capital I and lowercase I.
Exactly.
But okay, I wrote down the dialogue from this because it was I had to watch it like 3 times because I was like, I can't believe they put this in the script and thought that this was going to be okay. Right. So Malcolm says, any security concerns? Because they're talking about the this like freighter captain said that there's a Xindi on this mine.
Right.
And Malcolm goes, any security concerns? Archer, he didn't mention any. Malcolm, with all due respect, sir, we should approach with caution. The freighter captain was of questionable character. Archer, where are we, Malcolm? Sir? This room. What did it used to be?
Yeah.
A storage base, sir. Conduit housing, I believe. But it got retrofitted. Starfleet went through a lot of trouble to turn it into our new command center. Why is that, Malcolm? Because of our mission, sir? To find the Xindi, right? Right? So this state-of-art equipment was put in here to help us gather the pieces of the puzzle, figure out who's trying to destroy Earth, right? 6 weeks. We've been in this expanse 6 weeks. What data have we gathered? What pieces of the puzzle have we started to put together? And then Malcolm started to speak, and then Archer interrupted him and got up in his face and goes, "Not a single one. We don't have the luxury of being safe or cautious anymore. And if the only lead we can find comes from a freighter captain of questionable character, then that's good enough for me. Understood?" And then he walked out without even waiting for a response. And I'm sorry, Malcolm was just like,
we should be cautious.
Careful.
He's like, no, we're going in guns blazing, which is kind of
what do you think's gonna happen? We'll be kidnapped and become mining slaves?
Exactly. Malcolm was right.
Yeah.
Hashtag Malcolm was right.
Big, which is a huge admission for this show.
I know. It's a huge problem.
The way Archer was saying it too, he was enunciating the first consonant of each word to be 6 weeks. We've been in the expanse for 6 weeks. And just his whole do you know where we are, Malcolm? What's this room? It's the rude way a bad boss when they're asking you questions they know you know the answer to in a way that is trying to humiliate you purposefully. It was just so rude. I'm sorry. I was totally on Malcolm's side. He was acting completely reasonable.
Strange experience, isn't it?
He's doing his job.
Archer's a bad boss. We know this. It's just weird to see him being a bad boss to somebody other than T'Pol.
And T'Pol was in the room.
Right.
And he didn't even do it to T'Pol.
Malcolm's all like, what did I do? T'Pol was right
For
there.
crying out loud, Archer.
Yeah, because usually he only does this to other people who are not T'Pol when T'Pol's not there. I noted, I was like, it was weird that he was yelling at Malcolm instead of T'Pol.
So great.
I have more random things.
Go with your
okay. Flux. So I looked closely this time because remember we were talking about the neck thing?
Right.
Yeah.
I looked closely and you can see he has on his neck, they have the makeup that it's dark under his chin. It's just not very noticeable. It kind of looks like a shadow. So I think that's why we never noticed it until they had him take his shirt off.
Yeah. Makes sense.
In Bounty. But I did notice it that time, so I wanted to make sure to mention it. Okay. The music was kind of great in this episode. When they were going to the planet, during the fight scenes, it was just noticeable. I was like, oh, this is cool music. I don't know. I don't usually notice the music in the show, but I did notice that the music was good. So I just wanted to call it out as this show did something I liked. Oh, another note. So the first time they go down into the mine, they're the second they get in there, they're coughing, and then they even that one dude that runs the mine is using a breathing apparatus. They leave, they come back to the mine again, they don't bring ventilators. And I'm like, okay, maybe the first time you didn't know. But the second time you knew. And you still, and they were coughing again. And I'm like, but you knew.
Right.
You knew. Bring a ventilator. Another note I had, Dream Trip's shirt was so funny. It was
I was trying to describe it. I was like, it's a Hawaiian shirt, but it's all brown.
It was red and orange squares. Maria Brown,
my
your
TV must
screen
be very different from your TV.
What's going
It all
on?
looked brown to me. Maybe I'm
It
getting
was
colorblind in my old age.
It was red and orange to me. And it was almost like a quilt pattern.
Okay.
My final thing was just the Expanse is so underwhelming.
Okay.
The way they built it up, they're going to go in the Expanse, it's going to be all weird. And then they get there and it's basically the same.
Right.
Except that sometimes shit sticks to the wall of a cargo bay.
Pointless. Completely fucking pointless.
Yeah, and there's all these people living in the Expanse seemingly fine, no big deal. I don't understand why they just built it up so much,
Yeah.
and then
Eh.
they got there, and I'm like, this is not. I was just expecting something more.
Yep.
I guess something weirder.
No, they
Yeah.
built it up as like this Cthulhu-esque place where the rules of reality no longer apply, and it's just like, okay, this is a shitty mining colony.
And I wonder if they just realized that if they did that, because you know the place that makes you crazy trope that whatever you're in a
Right.
Star Trek show and
Bermuda
that's
Triangle.
a Bermuda Triangle, whatever. That's a one episode thing. You know, you can't have Janeway and Tom Paris turn into lizards every week. You can't do that.
Although, hear me out on this.
So I feel like they just got to it. They were like, we're going to do this. And then they were like, well, shit, we can't have the whole season be in this Expanse thing and be, so I don't know. They had to tone it down, I guess.
It would have been fun if, like, some of these aliens seemed like they'd been driven mad by the Expanse or something, like something weird like that. But
It's just that one gross guy.
Yeah, and they're just like, they're talking to freighter captains, which means there's freighters, like,
Just
there's like
poodling
industry.
through.
And that was like the freighter like the mine. If it was just the mine, that would make sense. But the fact that there's like a freighter captain, that they're going around talking to people, they're like getting supplies from people. There's like industry and bases and stuff. That's the part that is like weird to me.
Yeah, I think what they ended up doing was making it like the bad side of the Star Trek tracks, right? Like it's where the pirates are or whatever.
Well, again, this is the Vulcans saying you can't go in there.
That's
It's
a good point.
really terrible. You know what happens if you go to that part of town? You get inverted and you're still alive and your lungs are on the outside.
Look at this video that is definitely not a fake video that we paid a director to create, despite all of the weird
It
cuts.
was just AI slop
And
that you put
editing.
together. They weren't
Oh,
turned
boy.
inside out. It was just AI.
Amazing.
Yeah, my only other note is what the hell is going on? Because I am honestly, like, I understand what you're saying, Bill, about the black box of the question about the homeworld being destroyed.
Yeah.
I cannot get over what the fuck was the Xindi thinking. Did he think he was telling them the truth? And he didn't know the planet had been destroyed 120 years ago?
Yeah.
Did he know that it had been destroyed,
this
so he
gets in-
gave them the coordinates
But
just
I
to
feel like
fuck
we'll
with
get-
them?
We'll get answers to that, I feel like.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe it has to do with time travel. That's my guess. Maybe it
Yeah.
has to, like, that's the only thing I can think, because it's weird.
And we know there's time traveling stuff involved.
Yeah, I was just worried that they're never gonna explain that. They'll
My
explain the problem.
My issue is, we'll think of an answer later. It'll come to us.
Mhm.
Yeah. My final note about this about this show entirely is this show a bad procedural? They seem to be more interested in the step-by-step process to a conclusion
Mm.
than exploring a concept. And that's the thing that I always enjoy about Star Trek is like,
Right.
let's take this idea about racism, about the environment, about language, about anything, and like what sort of metaphor can we create about this?
Right.
And Enterprise seems to be more about like, here's a conclusion. What's the step by like
Step to
they
get
need
to
to
there, yeah.
they need to climb down rocks. They need to climb up rocks. They need to go into a cave. And it's or they need to have a firefight. And like
Right.
that's the important part to them. So it's like you're
Right.
watching a shitty
Right.
police procedural show rather than a Star
Right.
Trek show.
CSI Expanse.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, Bill. I don't think, and this is sort of, I think what we're struggling with when we talk about like, does the show know how unreasonable Trip is being and Archer are being? Like,
Right.
that's what because we are
Any other show.
any other Star Trek, we would know that we would know the answer to that,
If
right? There would be a
Geordi's
question.
if Geordi's sister got killed and he decided he hated all Klingons and that was an issue with Worf, that would be an interesting story because we know
Exactly.
yeah.
Well, who knows?
This show really feels like a procedural, like we need to put something on.
And it's funny you say that because that is like story of the week kind of a thing, but that's
Yeah.
exactly what they're not doing here. So they're trying to do an arc, which is interesting. So now it is time for the segment we call Mammary Alpha, where Jamie tells us about a weird or funny page that she found on Mammary Alpha.
All right, so the intermix, guys.
Oh,
The intermix, so of course
right.
we were laughing about intermix. So I was like, what is intermix? So I looked up on Mammary Alpha, and there are actually a bunch of, there's not just an intermix page, there's like intermix formula, intermix ratio, there's like a bunch of other ones.
Oh, wow.
According to Mammary Alpha, the intermix is the ratio of matter to antimatter in the warp core. And I guess like depending on the speed, the ratio changes so that you always have to like make sure the intermix ratio is like set correctly or whatever. But the weirdest part of this whole thing is I clicked on every single intermix related Mammary Alpha page. Not one of them mentioned the episode First Light.
Oh, wow.
Not one. All Star Trek hinges on that episode, right? And hinges on the intermix.
The most iconic episode of Star Trek ever made.
No, not the most iconic. But if they had failed to do the intermix,
yes,
the Enterprise the future Enterprise would never have existed. TOS would not exist. TNG would not exist. Nothing would exist. Future doesn't exist. They had not gotten the intermix right. It was everything hinged on the intermix.
Jamie is an intermix truther.
Jamie, have you already updated Mammary Alpha?
I have not, but I always say this. I promise to do it by the time this episode comes out, or when this episode comes out. What happens every time I promise that? I always go, I'll do it tomorrow. I never do it tomorrow. What happens is KO sends us the edit of the episode like a couple days before the second contact comes out. And I hear myself say it. And then I go in and do it sometimes then. Sometimes I don't do it then. But then after our episode comes out, like usually around a week or two later, I'll like listen to it again once it's actually out on my own. And then I'll sometimes do it then. But I always do it. Just not usually right away, but I will have to fix this because
it seemed like you are eager to fix
I cannot believe like
you
it
feel strongly about this one is all I'm saying.
And they had other where it was like random person on TNG mentioned the intermix or whatever, and I'm like, but it wasn't like crucial to the plot in this way. Like, come on.
Your anger amuses me greatly. I'm sorry.
Mammary Alpha is this ode to just like the superest nerds
Right.
of all the super
Absolutely.
nerds, right?
I'm
These
with you.
people that are like going in and writing in these very like looking at all very much, and it's so funny to me
Right.
how they have so many details in there, and yet when it comes to Enterprise, it's all missing.
Because nobody watching the show.
These super nerds are not
Like,
watching
no,
Enterprise.
No Enterprise for me. Thank you very much.
Can I do a supplemental Mammary Alpha, please?
Sure.
I was going to hold off on this until later, but I just looked into it this moment. I was going to do a Mammary Alpha about marsupial.
Wait, do you just want to do the
No, because
Mammary Alpha
it's
next
super
week?
disappointing. I just literally looked into it, and it's super disappointing. It's just a term for a group of animal species linked together in systematic biology, and then it's just a link to these two Enterprise episodes. But when I was looking it up, you know how it will autofill entries,
Right.
like if you type in
Yeah.
something? There was a second entry for marsupial, which is marsupial surprise was a popular dish prepared by Neelix when the USS Voyager.
Neelix, man. Fucking Neelix.
And they're both stubs.
Yeah, so I just want to
Amazing.
say, Bill, I already knew this because I had already looked up marsupial. I just determined it was too boring for a segment, but I had noticed that the marsupial page, it's got an Enterprise episode we haven't seen, so we can look
Okay.
forward to future marsupial, and it has
Future
bounty,
marsupial.
but it doesn't mention. I think was it the pilot, like, or there was like early episodes when we were having the marsupial discussion.
Oh yeah.
There's been at
Terra
least two
Nova,
other
I
episodes
think.
that mentioned
Yeah.
Wasn't it Terra Nova?
marsupials. And I think before that too.
Yeah.
I think marsupials have been
Yeah.
mentioned
And they
at
don't
least
mention
two
the
other
fucking
times.
space koala. This is upsetting to me.
Bill, you
You're
could go in
gonna
and
have
edit
some
it.
work
Well,
to
there
be
we
done,
go.
guys.
Are you sure that you want to be the kind of person that is editing Mammary Alpha?
Okay, so now it is time for a Read alert. That is an READ alert.
Read alert. READ alert.
We need to make that. We should just do that and put it in every time.
Clip it, yeah.
Clip it and put it in every time. The section for any emails or contacts we get from all of you lovely listeners.
So we have 2 today. The first one I know Maria already saw because you liked it on Blue Sky. But at Blether Dog on Blue Sky said that season 3, we are going to love it if we imagine that these 2 plots are happening off camera. Number 1.
So much.
I like this already.
You're going to love this, Bill.
Number 1, Malcolm has a heated rivalry with the head of the Makos, which I guess are like the military guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love that heated rivalry is now like a noun.
Yeah.
Like,
He's going to heated rivalry it.
he had a heated rivalry.
It's a verb, too. You're going to heated rivalry the hell out of that thing.
And number 2, Hoshi and Travis have been fucking this whole time.
Oh, I like that.
Hoshi and Travis. Okay.
Yeah. Which I feel like this episode that we just watched, if you imagine that Malcolm is like in a heated rivalry with a secret relationship with like the head Mako guy, it makes this episode so
This
much
show
better.
is so much better if you imagine these things are happening off screen.
The Hoshi Travis saying not yet, because we rarely even see them together. But hopefully, I'm hoping this means that we will see more of them
either
together.
that or it's him saying that's why they're never on camera.
Because they're always off
Always
fucking.
off camera
What
fucking.
if Hoshi hasn't been here she missed her last 3 shifts. What's going on?
And then I have another one. So in our last episode, The Expanse, at one point I made some joke about who would win in a fight, the Enterprise crew or the Rocinante crew. So my spouse, Eric, on Blue Sky, did a full crew member by crew member breakdown.
It was so good. I saw this
That
one
is
too.
so good. I'm just going to read this all. The first one. Jonathan Archer versus James Holden. This might be the hardest one to call. They are evenly matched in stubbornness, self-righteousness, and smugness. They're a good matchup physically, but Holden's military background might give him a slight edge. Verdict is toss-up.
I would go for Holden on that one because Archer would enjoy it. Don't forget, Archer would enjoy it.
He does love getting beat up. Trip Tucker versus Amos Burton. No contest. I don't think Trip would be able to engineer himself out of this one. It was nice knowing you, Trip. Verdict Amos.
Trip would be immediately flattened by Amos. Absolutely.
T'Pol versus Naomi Nagata. In a physical battle, T'Pol would win hands down, but Naomi's quick thinking and computer skills mean she will likely have hacked the Enterprise systems and locked T'Pol in her quarters. Verdict Naomi.
Excellent.
Malcolm Reed versus Bobby Draper. He just wrote ha 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 ha, snort, ha ha ha, choke, deep breath, ha 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 ha. Verdict Bobby.
Malcolm is a pancake.
Poor Malcolm.
Come on. There's no way.
Travis Mayweather versus Alex Kamal. Once again, Alex is no match for Travis in a physical fight, but when it comes to piloting, I think Alex has the advantage. But honestly, I expect the two of them to say, screw this shit, and head to a bar and drink beer and swap stories. Verdict a draw.
Yeah. Agreed.
They would be friends.
They would be friends for sure.
All right. Hoshi Sato versus Clarissa Mao. He just wrote, oh my God, Hoshi is screwed. The verdict, Clarissa.
I'm so sorry, Hoshi. You're not surviving that.
Bonus matchup, Admiral Forrest versus Christian Avasarala.
I didn't see all of these, so this is delightful.
Forrest would obviously win in a fight, but Avasarala will have outwitted him so thoroughly before it got to that point that it's not worth considering. So verdict Avasarala. And then he had a final double bonus matchup, Dr. Phlox versus the Autodoc. He said, I'm inclined to give the Enterprise crew a much-needed win, but the Autodoc never needs to hibernate, isn't at risk of becoming a Borg, and its treatments don't require their own food supplies. Verdict, Autodoc.
Amazing.
So the Enterprise crew would just not do well.
Except amazingly,
against
Archer has
the
a shot.
Rocinante.
Yeah.
Archer has a shot, but not
Archer has a shot, but no one else does. So
That is true.
and that is it for today's Read Alert.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
And that's the episode. Thanks for listening. Special thanks to our producer, K.O. Myers at Particulate Media, to our friend David for the beautiful cover art, and to John Stephen King for being the voice of our computer. If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on your podcast app of choice, and tell your friends about it. We really appreciate it. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook as @EnterpriseSplaining, and on Blue Sky as @EnterpriseSplain. You can also email us any comments or questions, such as, why don't these guys know how to write sexy? To enterprisesplaining@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And if you'd like to support this podcast, you can find us at Buy Me a Coffee as Enterprise Splaining. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
And that's the episode. Thanks for listening. Next episode, Jamie will be telling us about the episode. God, I said episode so many times in that.
It's like that episode, that time that Trip tripped while he was tripped near a tripwire.
And there was a tribble. Special thanks to our producer, K.O. Myers at Particulate Media, to our friend David for the beautiful cover art. What is wrong with you guys? Why?
I'm sitting here silently.
I just thought of the sentence, Trip on his trip, tripped over a tribble.
Trip tripped over a tripwire.
On a trip.
On a trip. While on a trip.
Sorry.
Need a break from how horrible everything is? Check out the Flopcast, where we just obsess over Brady Bunch reruns, Brat Pack movies, Duran Duran videos, Super Friends cartoons, Dynamite magazines, and much more pop culture weirdness. So persist, resist, hang in there, and join us on the Flopcast for the silliest half hour of your week. We're on the ESO network and at flopcast.net. It'll be our little secret.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.